What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy, and we're back with another video. Diablo 3 Season 28 PTR. This is a video on the Gears of Dreadlands Demon Hunter, because hell, we haven't covered this ever on the channel at least 7 times. But I always think it's worth a refresher on these things. It is the starting set for the Demon Hunter, and it can absolutely crunch T16 with basically a really budget build. Footage in the background will either be this build here going really fast. This is the bells and whistles one, what I will probably work towards for keys. Really good key build. Maybe we'll play UE for keys on Demon Hunter. Maybe it'll be this. Maybe it'll be Natalia's. We don't really know where Natalia's is going to be, because I presume they're going to patch it before launch. But it is your starting set, so we'll run through the full build, and we'll talk about the kind of like really budget, take all the Paragon points out, and so on and so forth. Before we do jump in though, as always guys, thumbs up brightens my day. Subscribe if you're interested in the launch of Diablo 3 Season 28, because we're going to cover just as much as we can. Now, there are some community proposed changes to the Gears of Dreadlands. It'd be really interesting to see whether Blizzard actually get to this before the season launch. But the way that the set works is, on the 2-piece you get momentum stacks when you fire your generator. They cap out at 20, and each one does extra damage basically. So it's a nice 2-piece as you're setting your Demon Hunter up. It is a little bit of extra damage on your primary skill, so up to like 200%. So happy days. On the 4-piece, we basically automatically fire out our Hungering Arrows when we strafe. We get damage reduction, and for 5 seconds after we strafe, which is cool. We get 8% move speed for each stack of momentum, so we can get 8 times 20, 160% move speed. This is one of the reasons why this makes this an absolutely godly start for the season, because you get damage on your 2-piece, which is really handy very early on. And then you also get damage because whenever you strafe, you fire out your last used primary skill, which is nice. But you get this massive move speed. 160% move speed on your 4-piece bonus will just mean that you can mop up the rest of your season journey and get your 6-piece just so fast. It is ludicrously good as a 4-piece bonus. 6-piece primary skills deal 15,000% increased damage. Now, when you do get this through and you get your 6 pieces, it's quite an easy build to set up, and the reason for that is because whilst preferentially you're going to have a Ring of Royal Grandeur and you're going to work in the Depth Diggers and also the Hunter's Wrath, you can simply just put the Hunter's Wrath on the character and put the Depth Diggers in the cube. So a belt is quite a cheap item to get at Kadala, so it's quite easy on blood shards. This will make your primary attacks go 30% faster and a 200% damage modifier. Again, you can roll shards on the pants pretty easily, and it's basically 100% extra damage on primary skills, which is really cool. You obviously want to get the 9th Ciri Satchel, so Hungering Arrow is guaranteed to pierce, and it also goes up to 600% on the modifier, but it can pierce up to 4 times. Now, initially when you get this, you can stick this in a cube pretty easily and get the maximum modifier. So if you think about it, you can have the 15,000% from the set, you can get the max modifier on the satchel in the cube, you can get the max modifier from the Hunter's Wrath belt in the cube, and you'll be absolutely flying, which will be very strong early. Your main weapon that you want is a Yang's Recurve. That's just basically for convenience, so you don't have to have it. I've got the Echoing Fury in the cube here for the kind of more end game T16 setup, but Dawn is a good choice because it reduces the Vengeance cooldown, but by no means necessary. You can take a Fortress Ballista, which will give you a shield, which again, as soon as you hit level 70, start putting this together. A nice big fat shield will be very handy because toughness normally is a little bit of a concern. You can work things in like a gold wrap belt pretty easily. Again, take the Hunter's Wrath, plop it on the character, and you can put a gold wrap in here, Boon of the Hoarder for your toughness. So basically what I'm getting at is there's no, whilst there's like best in slot things, you know, we're going for Echoing Fury for the crazy move speed, just for whenever we basically kill an enemy, but You don't need to. You don't have to run it this way. There's so many different options with the Gears of Dreadlands that just makes it very easy to set up. Like, realistically, all you've got to do is roll a few shards and get a belt, roll a few shards, get a satchel, and roll a few shards and get yourself a pair of pants. And that's pretty much it. You're not faffing about with amulets. You're not faffing about with rings. So it is super, super good straight out the box. How endgame I'm planning to run it is like this. So with the Rogue, with depth diggers on the character, also with the Guardian set early on. I just think it's super powerful. So this like 1200 paragon range. It adds a massive kick to your dexterity, so huge damage, huge toughness, which means we don't need the gold wrap belt. But we always could do, again, gold wrap could go on the character, and then we'd have a free bracer slot for whatever it is that we wanted. Squirts will give us more damage, so when we don't take damage, we get double damage. Not always up because there's no shielding mechanic, again, unless you're relying on the Fortress Ballista early on, but I probably wouldn't bother unless I found that first, but you certainly could do for double damage. Simplicity Strength is more damage in the build. Bane of the Trapped or Bane of the Powerful is more damage, and then we've got the Boon of the Hoarder in for a bit of move speed. Larceny Ring, we've got the wrong main stat on this, but it is just here for this chance to fear. Unfortunately, the chance to fear on this is so low. It's like 1%. It should be 5%, so you will be faster than the footage once you get this finally set up. And then I like to take Stone of Jordan with it, just because it means that you match your element between your bracer and between your amulet and between the ring, and then you should be pretty good for a nice consistent flat damage. But convention of elements would be fine for some damage early on. You can take one of these crit rings. Which one is it? There's one that adds crit chance. Its name escapes me at the moment. Broken Promises. So you can stick this on. That would be a nice little bit of damage, or just anything with sockets. COE would be okay. Elusive Ring for toughness is okay early on, and they're sort of kind of your options really. Let's load up the skills. So Devouring Arrow, it's just the cold rune, just does the most damage. Strafe, Drifting Shadow, so that we keep our move speed nice and high. Shadow Power, Shadow Glide, this is just for move speed. Pop it on activation, extra move speed. Prep in Vig gives us more max discipline. We also restore 30 discipline. Toss up between that and Focus Mind. Either of them I think are fine. Smokescreen Displacement, 100% move speed. Immunity to stuff when you pop it, makes you go faster, which is nice. And then Vengeance. Rune on here I don't think matters. I've got Seethe on just to make sure we are okay for Hatred, but I think Dark Heart with 50% damage reduction would also be okay. You're probably going to pick that one first when you get to 70 and get your 6-piece setup. Awareness, Cheat Death, just in case something goes wrong. Ambush to flatten stuff, hit it really hard at full health. Night Stalker I've put on, again, just to make sure that we're okay for Hatred, but by no means essential. Blood Vengeance for a little bit of extra discipline. Health Glow pickup is fine. Perfectionist is nice for reducing that discipline cost. Archery will give you 8% damage because we are using a bow. And then we've got Tactical Advantage, again, for move speed. So that is the kind of full bells and whistles version. But initially, at super budget, this one crushed T16 absolutely fine. So played this in the footage in the background that we'll put up. We had absolutely no paragon points in at all, bar move speed, so nothing in any of the crits, nothing in cooldown, nothing in attack speed. Absolutely zilch. We had, I think, level 25 Simplicity Strength, level 25 Bane of the Powerful. Pretty budget gear. The Yangs is primal, but remember guys, you can craft one of these. You've only got to clear a GR70 and you'll be getting some Primordial Ash, so not hard to get yourself a good Yangs early. Gold wrap in this particular one just to make sure that we're invulnerable, and then the Wazekian Arm Guards for move speed. Again, going back to the end game setup, it's certainly a potential swap once you get enough damage to go gold wrap here, to go arm guards here, to just get a little bit more move speed. But the arm guards are a little bit inconsistent because you do have to break something, so it really depends on the map you get. Some maps this is a great item, and other maps it's not. Again, going back to the budget build, we just had any double crit amulet. Obviously Talrash's amulet does nothing for a Demon Hunter. And then a little bit of cooldown just to try and help with Vengeance uptime. Bear in mind as well, because we've got all the health potion stuff, it's really easy to have resource, it's really easy to do damage, and unfortunately I can't deselect these things, so I don't think we can take them off and do testing out of the Alter of Rites. I can't, there's no way to toggle on or off. So all we can do really is the best we can, which, as I say, is this budget kind of looking build here, with a nice weapon, a fairly high modifier on the offhand, but whether it's ancient or not makes really little difference to a satchel. You just want to get the high modifier, and you want something much more like crit chance. Hungering Arrow damage goes on your trousers, and also, where does it go? Trousers and belt, isn't it? So this Guardians doesn't have it rolled on, because I think we're using it for the UE build as well. So again, on this one, Hungering Arrow damage is on the gold wrap. So really, you can stick it together. And again, going back to this one, just any rings. I think an Oculus ring with strength is awful. A restraint, yes, it's got crit damage and an org on it, but it's doing nothing for damage because you don't have the other one. So basically, pretty much out the box, a budget Gears of Dreadlands, I think, will clear your T16 with very little problem. The only issue, I think, with the set, ultimately, that you could start to argue maybe it isn't the best start, is because I think getting a 110 solo clear with it is really doable, but it's not going to be as easy as on, say, UE, probably on the Natalia set that we're going to have, buffed for the season, or wherever it ends up. Some of the wizard sets I think will crush 110. Bone Spear I think will be better at doing a 110. So as an early game build, I think it's really nice. For Torment 16 key farming, I think it's really nice. For bounties, I think it's really nice. But ultimately, I think unless they add damage to it, which is one of the kind of community reworks that they're on about, upping the damage a bit so that we've got this as a speed farm, then I think you probably are looking at doing Natalia's, UE, or Marauder, I think, for your speed runs, because they'll just all hit harder than this. Basically, it's the pierce limit, I think, is the issue. Just means that we can't really get as high as we would like with it. But it's a really solid option, and yeah, pretty fun, pretty fast to set up. Echoing Fury for move speed. I've played it with all different variations. We've had Crimsons in, Crimsons out. There's so much you can do with it. It's a very, very flexible thing, and that's nice because it means that you might find good gear pieces that you say, right, well, I'm going to play it this way because I've got a really nice, primal pair of depth diggers. Lucky me, I'm going to stick them on, and then we're going to go for it that way. Maybe you craft the Crimsons and you get a really nice Crimsons belt and pair of boots, so you think, well, whatever, I'll stick them on. It's very flexible, which again, in terms of fastest start, flexibility is a good thing. Right, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed the footage. The build guide, I think we'll put in the description. Just checking, we did cover everything, I'm pretty sure. Any questions, let me know. I'll be back with some more videos real soon. Take it easy, guys. Peace.